We couldn't give up the Hornets before we get the new ones, and unfortunately the Hornets at that time are, well, practically finished.
But we like your aircraft. Just you to know.
Yep.
Welcome back. That's Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy with Finland's President Sauli Niinistö. Zelenskyy visited Helsinki on Wednesday for a summit with a bunch of Nordic leaders, and the issue of fighter jets came up yet again, and that is one of the questions I asked Finland's president when I spoke with him in a Canadian exclusive. President Niinistö, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for giving the possibility.
I want to start with this week. President Zelenskyy was in Helsinki to speak with you and other Nordic leaders at the Nordic Ukrainian Summit. What was the message that you took away from that meeting, sir?
Well, it was kind of a double message. Surely, we discussed a lot and we agreed about the statement concerning the situation in Ukraine and specifically how to get further from this situation.
I'm sure President Zelenskyy talked about the spring offensive against Russia's invasion. As you know, he's asked Finland and other allies for help with air defense. What at this stage is Finland's response to Ukraine on that?
Air defense means not only fighters but also ammunition, missiles and so on. We haven't opened up very clearly what we have been giving them because we just don't want that our neighbor knows what we have and what we possibly have not anymore. But let's say that we have given quite a lot answer to their demands. We have given now 15 different packages of military armament and preparing for the next. Value of those is more than billion euros.
So, but fighter jets themselves, I believe you're in the process, like Canada, of purchasing F-35s, and you don't have F-16s. So is that even something Finland could actually do and provide?
Well, we have purchased F-35s, which arrive here in, let's say, starting 3 years from now. So we do not have them. We have old Hornets, but I guess everybody understands that we are not very willing to give up with our own air forces because we happen to have a borderline with Russia as much as other NATO countries together.
Yes. Tell me, you've been, I think, a NATO member for about a month now. Has anything changed in terms of how Finland positions itself, how you feel being next door to Russia?
You have to keep in mind that we have been an enhanced partner for more than a decade before, and we have all the time developed our cooperation and interoperability with NATO, being involved in exercises and so on. So it's not like this. Everything hasn't changed. But surely Finns feel themselves more secure. And I repeat saying how I feel the joining NATO is that Finland maximizes its security and surely takes responsibilities for other security too.
Canada, as you know, was the first country to ratify that request. What did that support mean for relations between Canada and Finland? How significant was that to you?
Well, surely it was we were really delighted to see that Canada saw as important to be the first one. And but it didn't change anything, because we have always felt some similarities with our societies, and we have always had very good relations, maybe except some ice hockey World Cup where we won.
That's fair enough. I do want to ask you about Sweden, because at the same time, you started your bid for NATO at the same time as Sweden. And there was a view that it was going to happen together, that you were going to stick together until the end. That did not happen because of Turkey and Hungary. How concerned are you that still hasn't happened, that they are standing in the way of Sweden's bid?
First of all, we didn't want to be separated from Sweden, and we even said to Turkey that we don't want to ask them. They wanted us to ask us to separate, and we said no. But at the end, they made their own decision, and surely we didn't deny or refuse, because that would have been old. But when I met President Erdogan, immediately after we understood that they will do it, that is, ratify our application, in our meeting I said that the Finnish membership is not complete without Sweden. And we are working all the time, doing our best to promote Sweden.
I want to ask you about military spending, if I can. Finland spends, I think, almost 2%, if not 2%, of its GDP on the military. It's fifth amongst contributors to NATO now. The Secretary General has said in the past number of weeks that 2% target will likely be the new floor, not the ceiling for members. Do you agree that contributions need to increase from NATO allies beyond 2%?
I think that it's self-evident that everybody should follow the agreement of 2%. Whether it has to be increased, that's I think that has to be discussed. For example, Finland, because of the purchase of F-35s, we will be well over 2% in the nearby future. And I think at least we Europeans got a lesson. Take care of your security.
What do you say then to countries, though, like Canada, where we have yet to meet that target? And I mean, we have security issues that we share with you in the Arctic. How important is it for countries to reach that goal?
I just repeat that to me as a Finn, we usually do what we agree. It's an agreement. To follow it is self-evident.
Finland is because it's now a NATO member, covered by Article 5, the article, of course, that says an attack on one is an attack on all. Does that bring reassurance to you, given how the proximity of Russia and the fact that Russia seems willing to disrespect sovereignty of nations?
Yes. I emphasize the preventive side of our alliance, but we understand very well that we have to maintain our strong army. And if you allow me to describe it, we still have conscription, and that means that we have trained reserves, even more than maybe any other European country, even though we are quite small. So we maintain our strong own capabilities. But like I said, the preventive side here is very important, and I believe fully in that. Article 5 gives that cover.
President Niinistö, thank you so much from Canada this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you so very much. It was a pleasure to discuss with you. Thank you.